The cellular theory of the domes. Are we part of a greater system, perhaps even a living organism? Before venturing into the depths of the domes, we must pause to consider a possibility that completely changes the way we perceive the Terra Infinita map. Until now, the map could be understood as a distribution of worlds, territories, barriers, oceans, hidden regions, and civilizations separated from one another. However, as the information received from the great ancestral library continues to expand, it becomes increasingly difficult to interpret these places as simple isolated lands with no connection between them. Each dome appears to possess its own distinct form, a defined boundary, an outer membrane, a center or nucleus, specialized internal regions, and systems of circulation. Some domes preserve water, others contain energy, memory, developing species, plasmatic beings, giants, biological archives, or structures that function as organs of surveillance, filtration, and preservation. This allows us to formulate a far more profound possibility. Perhaps the great horizontal system is not merely a map of worlds, but the fragmented body of a living structure. Under this interpretation, each dome world can be viewed as a cell within a greater organism. Its outer walls would act as membranes. Its central nucleus would function as a command center. Its channels, rivers, rings, and luminous networks would form systems of circulation. Its portals would operate as points of exchange. And the beings within it would perform roles similar to guardians, defenses, transmitters, repairers, or living repositories of memory. This could explain why so many domes possess circular, concentric, or cellular forms. Each one may have been created, modified, or preserved to fulfill a precise function within this greater system. Some domes resemble organs of memory or energy, while others appear to be gestation chambers, filters, defensive zones, or damaged, abandoned, and contaminated tissues affected by external intervention. An entire complex system begins to emerge before our eyes. The secret of its true nature may be preserved within the celestial lands themselves. Humanity, confined within the known lands, has lived for centuries inside an altered cell. Our world appears to occupy the center of the system, like a specific chamber within a far greater organism. A place that has unfortunately been colonized, repeatedly reset, and subjected to constant environmental alteration. This completely changes the interpretation of history. The custodians and the Anunnaki did not merely conquer territories. They penetrated the living tissues of a system they did not create, behaving like parasites within its structure. For this reason, the resets may represent far more than wars or cataclysms. Other domes may contain cycles that restart automatically, as occurs in the Dome of the Titans. These events could be related to processes of necrosis, cleansing, or cellular renewal later exploited by external forces to erase civilizations or redesign specific regions. When a race reaches a certain level of development, or becomes dangerous enough to the forces controlling its environment, its dome cell may be intervened, partially destroyed, and repopulated. This creates repeated cycles of damage, healing, and reprogramming within the central dome cells. As we will see later, darker necrocellular and plasmatic domes appear to reinforce this possibility. Some territories do not contain ordinary civilizations in development, but entirely different biological behaviors, hidden networks, nuclei that absorb information, waters that preserve memories capable of being reinterpreted, circles that activate, membranes that block or permit passage, and beings that appear not as individuals, but as extensions of the dome itself. In such cases, the boundary between world and living being begins to disappear. There are also preservation domes, resembling chambers in which the system stores what must not be lost. Others function as eyes, seeds, chemical furnaces, vast databases, enclosed gardens, or matrices containing undeveloped species. Within a higher organism, not every cell performs the same function. Some transport, others defend, create, store, repair, or isolate whatever is considered dangerous. The most unsettling question is what or who the complete organism represents. Is Terra Infinita a living organism? Does it exist beyond the creation of the five masters? Is it a structure designed by an intelligence older than every known civilization? Is it the body of a supreme entity that lies dormant, fragmented, or silently observing? Or is it an architecture created to contain different levels of life, consciousness, and development? What exists within the celestial lands where our souls return that might answer these questions? There is still no definitive answer, yet the same patterns appear too often to be ignored. Nuclei, membranes, gestation chambers, defenses, and parasites. This theory remains under investigation. Studies continue across this immensity, including regions of absolute darkness that neither ancestral technology, Cassiopeia, nor the giants have yet been able to reach. As we advance through this new classification, we must examine every detail carefully and with an open mind, even when the information becomes increasingly difficult to comprehend. Perhaps Terra Infinita is not merely the place where we live. Perhaps it is an entity, a body, a matrix, a completely unknown system, a work of higher creation, and perhaps humanity, confined for centuries within its small and repeatedly reset chamber, is only now beginning to remember that it forms part of something immeasurably greater.